Today we are going to be repairing this iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it step by step. As you can see, this one's absolutely battered. As always, we are going to start by removing the two bottom pentalobe screws. To do this, we have a 0.8mm pentalobe screwdriver. I got this kit off of TikTok shop. It was super cheap and yeah, it lasts really long, does the job. I'm going to speed this up just so you aren't waiting around forever. Before we can do anything else whatsoever, what you want to do is you want to heat up the phone to make sure that it loosens the adhesive from around the outside of the screen. You need to be careful when prying around the edges because the flexes for the screen, which is the connections for the screen to the main board, are around the outside. And if you damage these, then you'll damage the old screen. But if you're replacing the screen anyways because it's broken, this doesn't really matter. You want to get your metal pry tool down the side of the screen and slowly maneuver it along. Do this super carefully because if you are just sort of swapping the screen over onto another phone, or you can damage the actual phone or components inside. Once again, I'm going to super speed this up just so you're not sat here waiting around for ages, and I will bring you back in as soon as this has been done, which is just in a few seconds. So once we've released the clips around the edge, I like to almost push down left on the screen while getting the pry tool in the top of the screen and lifting up. This helps release those top clips, as you can see on the screen there. Next, there's about 8 screws around the covering plate for the screen connector, Face ID connector, as well as the other connectors like the battery. We are going to get all of those removed because we need access to the screen connectors. Once we have finished doing that, we can lift up the covering plate and pop it to one side. It is now time to pop out the screen connector as well as the upper Face ID and microphone sensor. I mean microphone. We now need to remove the two crosshead Phillips screws from the sensor's covering plate. Also, if you got this far into the video, please comment down below Apple. These screws have been removed, and now what we need to do is put it back onto the hot plate, or you can use the lighter underneath the screen. Just be careful not to do it for too long to release that adhesive, so we can remove the sensors very carefully, because if you break them, Face ID typically no longer works or functions. So this is super important, otherwise it'll have to be replaced, and that is just a pain in the ass. Make sure you grabbed your new screen, and it's time to put these sensors back into place. They can only go in one way, so make sure you pop them in that way, as you can see me putting it in right now. Now I'm going to perform a quick test just to make sure that the screen is fully functional. So I'll get this bit split up again. At this point, some donut forgot to plug back in the battery, so it won't come on yet. Oh, are you going to get it plugged in? Yeah, there we go. Right, and now we have power. Sometimes on the newer models, you won't get power, so don't panic. Just connect it to a charger. If you still have got power, then do panic. But let me know in the comments below so I can give you a little bit of a helping hand. Now all I'm going to do is just check that this one is coming on. Unfortunately, this one has a motherboard issue, but the screen works nonetheless, and the practice is exactly the same. Now that we tested the screen, the process is pretty much exactly the same as before, but in reverse. So we have put the sensors for the Face ID and the microphone into place. We're now going to get the bracket that holds down those sensors and the two Phillips screws and get them screwed back into place, as you can see, like I'm doing now. Now let's grab your phone and put the connectors back into their places. Once you've got a phone in front of you, you'll know exactly what I mean. That pops straight back into place, as Jerry Rig Everything says, like a little Lego. I had a little bit of trouble with my one, but I'm going to speed it up a little bit so you're not waiting around. Now we need to grab the covering plate that we took out earlier and put back in the 8 screws that we also mentioned earlier. That is most of the repair done. As you can see, it's literally exactly the same. Just make sure when you're doing this, you organise your screws so then you don't lose them. Finally, you want to close the phone up like a book. Make sure you align the top first and push that into place, and then push down the edges to around the bottom to make sure that the screen clips into place. There's clips all around the outside of the screen, so make sure they go in nicely. If it doesn't go in, don't push too hard because you can break the screen. Pop in the 2 bottom pentalobe screws and then do them up, and we are completely done. All that we need to do now is a little test. Make sure the phone is still charging, make sure the speakers still work, make sure every single component of the phone works before you put everything away. And how easy was that? Your first time repairing a phone. Make sure that you subscribe if you're new, and I will make sure that I keep bringing out content for you. This will be made for loads of videos on different phones, and we will make sure that we help you out. Any issues, give me a shout in the comments, and I will try my best to help you, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.